Distance Nerding.
I don't know where Phil's camera is.
Welcome,
I don't see
welcome,
nothing.
welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday. We are here. It's Taco Tuesday. You guys know what that means. You are now experiencing distance nerding. I'm Phil, and this is my cohort Jen, and we're here.
They're here to nerd
To nerd
together.
together.
Hey, can you see yourself on screen? I can't see you at all.
You can't see me?
Nope.
Yeah, I can see myself on screen.
It's like John Cena over here. Yeah, I can't see you at all.
Yay,
weird.
Talk Studio weirdness.
Huh.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I'm all,
we're talking anything pop culture, news, movies, music, food, wrestling, comics, Comic-Cons, whatever you're nerding out on, we want to talk about it. Of course, if you are watching on YouTube right now, if that is your place of choice to watch, you know, all the fun people at Distance Nerding, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. Listen on your favorite podcast app, leave us a review, and remember, 5 stars helps us so much. If you are listening on Spotify, then give us that episode review and help us out. It really does help. Guys, follow us on all the social media places: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Threads, Blue Sky, Discord, all at Distance Nerding. And of course, if you'd like to email us, you can email us at your place of choice, as long as that email is distancenerding@aol.com.
exactly. Just that one. But you can email from anywhere.
Right. You can email.
Yeah, any email platform will, Outlook, Gmail,
Yeah.
Hotmail.
Hotmail. Oh, that's one I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah. It's an oldie but a goodie.
It definitely is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're jumping into this. It is now time for the best kept secret on all of the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the download. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are ready to get right into this. All the fun stuff that we do on a weekly basis. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about it. Let's get into this whole thing. This week on deck, we've got the Geekend Update.
The biggest little con in the world, Silver Age Comic Con.
Starting rumors.
TV renewal time. That's right, everybody. Renew those TVs. But not all the shows are making the cut.
That's right. And of course, rounding out the end, ladies and gentlemen, it's the download.
3 years? They're just a baby.
It's just very small. But before we get into all of that, of course, let's talk about the people that are bringing us here. Let's talk about the shout outs, because we got some shout outs to do. But first, let me get a shout out. Ladies and gentlemen, shout outs to Dubby. That's right. Dubby is a brand of energy drinks created to help focus, concentration, reaction time with no jitters or crash. Dubby contains no maltodextrin, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Find out more about Dubby at www.dubby.gg. Use the code NERDING10. Get 10% off your order. Ladies and gentlemen, it is delicious stuff. I need to put in an order. There's 2 new flavors. They have a cherry blossom flavor as well as the ramune flavor. I definitely want to get my hands on those to try those out. So if you guys are
I hope
interested,
they call the cherry blossom one the Sakura.
I know it's got a Sakura theme.
You should.
Yeah, but I'd have to look up the name on there. So that's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you're interested in getting some of that Dubby goodness, head over to dubby.gg and use that code NERDING10. Get 10% off your order. Jen, why don't you tell everybody where we're at?
I was just getting ready to say, hey, Phil, did you know that we're part of the Geek Freaks Network now?
Are we?
Yeah, Distance Nerding is part of the Geek Freaks Network.
Oh, wait a minute. The children are happy.
Hear it. Okay, good. Children are happy. Yay! Connecting, informing, and entertaining fellow geeks and nerds. because nerds. Creating a space where fans can explore their fandoms, discover new ones, and engage in meaningful discussions. That is the mission statement of both Disconcerting and the Geek Freaks Network. So check out the Geek Freaks podcast, Challenge Accepted, Outlast podcast, Fandom Portals, Who's Got Next Game, Disney Moms Gone Wrong. Love the title. Geek Freaks interviews, headlines, Anime Plus, and of course, the very show you're watching, Distance Nerding. That's with an N and a G. The Geek Freaks Network has got you covered. Find out more at gfpods.com.
That's right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into our next upcoming deal because it's time for the Geek End update. Jen's cubby is always taken. I don't know what it is. Somebody's just taking your cubby now, Jen.
What? Somebody's taken my hubby?
Your cubby
My hubby?
with a C, cubby.
Hubby. What do you mean somebody's taking my cubby? What are we talking about?
Geek End update. Okay, never mind. Jokes.
Jokes. Oh, my desk. My
Yes.
desk. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't ever heard of it called a cubby, but okay. You do you there, little Phil.
Oh,
I mean, young Phil.
it's your cubicle. Yeah. Never mind.
Oh,
I
that went
killed it.
really bad. Hey, let's talk about Silver Age Comic Con.
Let's talk about Silver Age Comic Con. Ladies and gentlemen, the next show you're going to see us at is at Silver Age Comic Con. It's going to be a great time. Let's talk about who's going to be there. Adam Baldwin is going to be there from all kinds of different shows. Of course, Olivia D'Abo is going to be there. John St. John, good friend of ours at this point now, Duke Nukem himself, and our boy, friend of the show, Tony Oliver is going to be there. It's going to be a great time, ladies and gentlemen. If you are interested in tickets for Silver Age Comic Con, make your way to silveragecomiccon.com and get yourself some tickets. It's going to be in Reno, July 12th through 13th. Once again, in Reno, Nevada. So, guys, we're going to be there. We're going to be having a great time. We're going to be hosting all of our shows as usual, all of our interviews and everything like that. And it's just going to be a good time overall. So make your way there and have fun with us. And of course, we're going to have Dubby on hand as we always do.
Yes, lots of Dubby. And I unfortunately am not going to be there because of recent events that I'm not allowed to talk about per my lawyer. Yeah, so I won't be able to. I will be out to California at some point, and I will go to a con at some point this year is my goal. So I will find
Yay.
one. So
Might have to come up to Tri-Cities Comic Con.
oh, maybe I will.
Yeah, Tri-Cities Powerhouse. Give you an excuse to go up to the great state of Washington.
I've been there. Like I've been there.
All
I
right.
can't tell you guys. I'm sorry. I'm not allowed to talk about it right now. It's pending litigation. I'll
Yep.
just say that.
All right. We'll not dive into that.
Well, Sandra Betty asked, and so I was like, I can't tell you. So
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into this.
that was very ominous.
I know. I'm not opening that can of worms. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this first segment here. It is now time to start some rumors. What happened?
Maybe we should do a Band of Belarus t-shirt.
Oh my God, that would be great. Like a Band in Belarus t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Okay. Sorry. Keep
Out
going.
of
Let's do it.
context, that would mess with people so much. That
Yeah, Band in
why are you banned
Belarus.
in Belarus?
Yes. Yes.
And if that ever got around to like Belarus, I'm sure they would be like pissed off too.
Yes. Let's go. Let's have like a war of words with Belarus. I think this is great. Let's do it.
It's absolutely nuts. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into this first story. I'm excited. It looks like the undead aren't the only ones crawling back for Marvel Zombies. Captain America Civil War villain Baron Zemo is reportedly set to return in the upcoming animated Marvel Zombie series. Whether or not Daniel Bruhl is reprising the role hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's hard to picture Zemo without him because honestly, that dancing, it's him. That's
It's yeah,
Yeah, he is Baron Zemo. Marvel
yeah, yeah,
Zombies
yeah.
will expand on the fan favorite episode from What If season 1, where we saw our heroes battling a horrifying zombified version of the MCU with Spider-Man, T'Challa, and Ant-Man's floating head flying to Wakanda. Unaware that the zombified Thanos was standing by with a fully loaded Infinity Gauntlet, Marvel Zombies premieres October 3rd, 2025. So, tacos on the table. How will Zemo dance his way out of this predicament?
I have thoughts.
Okay. Thoughts.
I have a post-it.
Give me your
No,
thoughts.
actually, I don't really have that many thoughts. I said Zemo doing Zemo things is always good for the brand.
Absolutely.
So that's I was like, it's Zemo doing Zemo things. I have to say, I do enjoy Zemo as a pseudo villain because now he's not really a villain. I mean, I get he's a reluctant hero. I don't know. He's just Zemo. He's
Yeah.
just Zemo, and I love Zemo. So he's a chaos agent. How can I not love a chaos agent, right?
He kind of is. Now, I
Yeah.
my tacos are on the table. I 100% feel like just kind of in the same place. Zemo is a really good like the portrayal of him is really good. And
Yeah.
like even more so after Falcon and the Winter Soldier when he got the purple mask, it was like, oh, even more so. So when they kind of went like full comic book, but also with that Baron Zemo that we've gotten in the MCU so far. I think it's great. So yeah, I'm excited about this.
And as far as I know, he's not currently doing anything because he was in the franchise and that didn't get picked up
Right.
by Max. So,
That's
Kevin, Kevin, I'm talking to you, Feige. I'm talking to you,
right.
Feige.
She's
Look
talking to you,
me in
Kevin.
the eye, Kevin Feige.
Pay attention,
Call
Kevin.
him. Make this happen.
All right.
All right.
Let's move on to the next story here.
Both our tacos are on the table, I assume.
Yes.
I don't think we said that out loud. So
I
I
said my
was like,
tacos
did
were on the
we?
table.
Okay, yeah, mine are too. Just making sure everybody knows. All right.
Mm.
So here's the next story, y'all. Does Olympus have a football team? You know what I'm talking about, ladies. The latest rumor is Marvel Studios is developing a solo Hercules project. And yes, Brett Goldstein is still on board. That's what we like to hear.
Right.
The Ted Lasso star sorry, I got a little verklempt. The Ted Lasso star surprised everyone with his gruff, godly cameo. I almost said goofy. And now it sounds like that moment could evolve into a full-blown adventure. Marvel is developing more projects than it actually greenlit. So a Hercules series on Disney Plus seems a likely possibility rather than a full-blown movie. Tacos on the table. Do we think that how do we think that the MCU is gonna bring in Hercules? Hercules, Hercules.
So first, I'm just gonna say he's here, he's there, he's every freaking where. It's Roy Kent. But Brett Goldstein coming in Thor as Hercules, just kind of like that moment was definitely something that a lot of people weren't expecting. With the introduction of like more gods and more things that they're doing, and what I mean is like going through the pantheon and not just being
Mhm.
um the Norse gods, but now we have the Greek gods, and now kind of like they're showing kind of like the gods exist within this universe. It's kind of cool to see Hercules. I think he's going to show up at some point, because they've introduced him, and they're not going to just be like, all right, well, we introduced Hercules, now we're just going to throw him out here, and like that's a waste of a post credit scene. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I
especially with Goldstein.
right. And Goldstein's doing really well right now in his career. Now is the time to capitalize. I do think that it would be a show. I would prefer it to be a show than a movie. Um, just because you can kind of develop him. You can also bring in other characters. Again, I keep talking about Beta Ray Bill, but this would be a good way to bring in Beta Ray Bill as well.
Oh, definitely, definitely. So Bella Ramsey is gonna be in his TV series, is what we're talking about?
Bella Ramsey as Beta Ray Bill.
As Beta Ray Bill. Watch the short if you don't know what we're
Look,
talking about.
oh, the internet's pissed off
Currently up
about it as it is.
everywhere.
Yeah, the internet's already pissed off about it because they're just like, "Oh, Bella Ramsey, yeah, she can go be somebody else's dad or dad," like just complaining about the line from Last of Us. I don't care.
Oh,
It's not that big
whatever.
a deal.
Get a
I
hobby,
start
everyone.
watching Matt Aguilar in the chat. I start watching, and you guys are already talking about Beta Ray Bill once again. Yeah, we're saying Bella Ramsey should play Beta Ray Bill.
So, I do have thoughts.
Okay.
I also have a note about this as well.
Okay.
I only did I James is getting so excited, but I only did it for rumors, James. I didn't do it for the whole show. So I said Hercules thinking everyone is into him will be fire. Because I feel like that has to be it. That has to be like a common, like godlike thing, right?
Yeah.
Is because I mean, Thor thought that. Thor was just like, everybody just loves me. And so I want to see that with Brett Goldstein, but I want, or well, with Hercules, but I want it to be Brett Goldstein's version of that. Like Roy Kent, like there's a whole thing with Roy Kent where he's like, "Are y'all talking about me?" And they're like, "Yes." And he's like, "Okay." And he just like lets it go. And I'm like, I kind of want to see that Hercules. I want to see him be like, "Are y'all talking about me?" And they're like, "Dude, get over yourself." And he's like, "Uh-huh." And then like, and he just assumes everyone just loves him and just worships him. And I would love to see that. That would be amazing.
Right. James James will be here soon, ladies and gentlemen, but he's saying Hercules' alter ego is Roy Kent.
Yes. Yes. I think that would be amazing. I have this thing because of Shrinking,
Mhm.
that Shrinking and um Ted Lasso live in the same universe, and that Roy Kent doesn't know that he had a twin brother that was given up for adoption, and that twin brother is the one that's in Shrinking.
Oh, okay. I see.
So, but that's just my headcanon, everyone. You guys don't have to follow that. I mean, if you want to follow it, you can. I'll be happy, but I that's just my headcanon. So
All right.
this could be a triplet kind of thing. It's just the same.
He's just every iteration of Brett Goldstein
Love
is
it.
all related to each other.
Yes, they're all just, oh, man, he could have been multiple man. Oh, that would have been amazing. And then we could just say that he's just send out these people, send out versions of himself. And then never mind. They missed. You guys
Missed
really missed a
opportunity.
ship on that. Ugh. Okay.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next story here. Just jumping in. Vision is seeing green. Oh yeah. A rumor about the new Vision Quest series is that the AI characters will appear in human form for most of Vision to save on VFX costs and to help get the series on Disney Plus as soon as early as 2026. So guys, tacos on the table. Are humans just Timu versions of AI?
Tacos on the table. I think my tacos are on the table for this. I think it's exactly that. I think the reason that they are doing humans is because they don't want to spend that much on the budget. And I mean, like I dig it. That's cool. But it also, I think, lends credence to my theory that this is all in his head to begin with while he's creating their bodies. And then he is actually going to unleash them.
Mm.
on the world
I
as
think
real people.
I think this also though it's kind of the same thing with the first Deadpool movie. It's you are saving costs in one place, and because you're not doing a big CG spectacle and everything like that, now you have to focus on writing and acting, which that
Right.
yeah, that 100% should always be the focus. But
Mhm.
it's kind of like now you focus on writing a story that is captivating, that is driving, and it's also supposed to be the cap of a trilogy. So something that ends kind of like, with a nice neat bow for this entire trilogy of series that there are, of limited series that they're doing. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
so I definitely want to see all of, because I mean you have a bunch of masterclass actors, and I want to see them all kind of melding together as their characters. Um, and we don't have all of this AI CG stuff that's going on. Like, we end up getting this whole kind of awakening story
I
where,
hear Willie Shakes is actually gonna be doing the
oh, Willie
script
Shakes is
writing.
going to be script writing. All right. Well, Willie Shakes,
Yeah.
one of the greatest script writers in the history of time, coming out of retirement,
He's
baby.
like a magician with these things, old Willie Shakes is. You got Willie Shakes doing all the work.
He's coming out of
Sorry, I've been
retirement, ladies
watching
and
a lot of Boston stuff lately. I'm sorry.
gentlemen. He's coming out of the
I'm
woodwork.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Well,
He's
ladies
in
and
the
gentlemen,
woods,
he's in the
not
woods
a
trying to get out of the
forest.
woodwork here. Does anybody
But
see
I
my
do say
cactus?
I approve of this concept. But will they be able to convince the CAPTCHA, the little things where you have to pretend like say you're
Yeah,
not a
yeah,
robot.
yeah, yeah.
Will they convince them that they aren't robots? I think that's the big question.
Yeah. Is this passing the Turing model? That's what we really come down to, right?
So look, I didn't know that actually CAPTCHA stood for stuff, and then I heard the T in that is a Turing test, and
Mhm.
I was like, "What? Are you kidding me?" Like, the guy that, like, broke the German code and created the first computer, oh my
Alan
god.
Turing. Alan Turing, but like, the Turing test. I mean, I'm not gonna mansplain the Turing test, so uh you know what it is.
I know what the Turing test is, but, like, and Benedict Cumberbatch played him.
That's right, he did.
Yeah, so I was like, "Holy crap, it's all connected."
Right? Doctor Strange is Alan Turing.
He is, oh my god!
He
He
went back in
literally
time. Yeah, exactly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our rumors for this week. So we are gonna jump into the next segment of the show. And again, we're moving pretty fast here today. So, but we are moving into the next segment. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the rest of the download. What did James say? Hold on. You can
Yeah,
nerd
he I
slam.
want
I don't know what you're talking
yes.
about. That's the only reason that I wanted to like say anything, because I was like, I'm not explaining it to Jen. I'm explaining it to all the people who don't know what the Turing test is. Okay,
Basically, James. You're
basically
explaining
James.
it to James. Everybody
Before,
else already knew. James
for all the
knows.
listeners out there, if you guys don't know what the Turing test is, Turing test is it's basically a model. It was originally for robots, but honestly, it's AI, any AI type thing. If you can have a conversation with AI and it's indistinguishable from a conversation with a human being, that means it passes the Turing test.
Yeah.
Which is that's when things get scary. Is when you can have a full conversation with AI, and it thinks and feels the way that a human does.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that is what it is. And then, of course, you've got your MCU connections because Benedict Cumberbatch was played him in a
Mhm.
movie with Keira Knightley.
That's right.
So you also got some Star Wars in there too. So anywho,
All right.
anywho,
Well, ladies
let's
and
talk
gentlemen,
about casting.
that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into the first segment of the download. It's time for Jen's casting couch cash. Let's just say casting couch at first.
I know. It's hard because it's so close. For more news, trailers, reactions, check out the Distance Nerdington post. Let us know what you're nerding out on, y'all. And videos. And like anytime we have trailers or we talk about trailers here, they're all on the Nerdington Post, the Distance Nerdington Post. So
That's
check
right.
those out. If you can't find them anywhere else, you can find them there. All right, so let's do this. May the odds dazzle you this week. Sabrina Carpenter might be taking stage lighting to a dazzling new level. Carpenter is reportedly being considered for the role of Dazzler in the MCU. According to industry scooper My Time to Shine Hello, while Marvel hasn't officially confirmed anything, Carpenter has allegedly met with Marvel Studios to discuss the role of Allison Blair, a mutant pop star who converts sound to light. Showtime synergy. If this rumor turns out to be true, it could be part of the long awaited X Men reboot, though other X Men related projects are also reportedly in development. Is Sabrina Carpenter your top pick for Dazzler, or do you have another dream casting choice, Phil?
I I think that's a good casting pick. I mean, everybody was like pushing for Taylor Swift for the longest time.
Yeah,
Which
absolutely.
I mean, I wouldn't mind Taylor Swift as Dazzler either. But Sabrina Carpenter would be a good pick for Dazzler as well.
I think so. She's got some acting chops, and we know she can do comedy, and she's fast on her feet because she's done SNL before, and she actually did a pretty good job. I think, yeah, I think so. I don't think Ariana Grande is going to do it. I think of the singers that are out there right now, it would be her,
Yeah,
Taylor, and Sabrina, those 3, I think I could see. And with Sabrina, I think, she might actually be a little bit closer to, like, a Dazzler type
yeah,
personality, so it wouldn't be as much of a stretch for her. They could really start the X-Men with Kitty Pryde and her actually their jumping into the mutants, their first introduction, because they both were introduced in the same issue
right.
of X-Men. So I like it. I think it's kinda cool.
Yeah, I'm
Go
agreeing with
Dazzler.
I'm agreeing with James in the chat. He was saying like there's a bit more glam when you go with Sabrina Carpenter, and I agree with that. There
Mhm.
is a little bit more glam with that. I think that she's a good actress. I think that she can play off kind of like the I hate to put it in this term, but like glam Barbie. Like I think
Yeah,
she
oh,
can play
yeah,
off that
yeah.
character. Because that's kind of what
Superstar
Dazzler.
Barbie?
Yeah,
That's a
you
real
know.
Barbie. It's Superstar.
Right? It's Josie and the Pussycats. Basically, it's Gem. It's more than anything. It's Gem, right? So, I think
Yeah.
Sabrina Carpenter can
Did you not get the
pull that off.
comparison when I said Showtime Synergy?
Yeah, yeah. So,
Sorry.
uh, so yeah. And I mean, and I agree with you as far as like actresses or singers that can kind of cross that threshold. She probably fits the mold a little bit better. There are other actresses out there that are also singers, like Lady Gaga is amazing, but like I don't see Gaga in that role or anything like that, just because Gaga kind of goes for like more artsy like roles and stuff. Like even her version of Harley Quinn was very like kind of like that
Yeah.
niche art kind of thing.
Let's face it, if Lady Gaga were to ever come into the MCU and play a mutant, she would be Emma Frost.
For some reason, I was thinking of I'm forgetting her name, the leader
The
of the
Morlocks?
Morlocks,
Callisto.
Callisto. I think she would be a good Callisto.
That would be really oh, man, that would be really interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I
That would
think
be so amazing.
if they went with the Morlocks, I think she would be a good pick for Callisto.
She would. She would
Yeah,
be a really good pick for
yeah.
Callisto. Huh. Okay, well, let's move on.
All right.
Because that's a great ending. That's perfect. Hot take.
Mhm.
So next we've got Holy Toxic Face Cream Batman. Tom Rhys Harries has officially been cast as Clayface. In DC Studios' upcoming film, as confirmed by DC Studios co-head James Gunn. Harries is set to portray the Matt Hagen incarnation of Clayface, a
Mm.
character who transforms into a monstrous shapeshifter after encountering, that's a weird word, a radioactive pool of protoplasm. The film is inspired by the two-part episode Feet of Clay from Batman the Animated Series, which depicted Hagen as an actor who became a horror-inducing figure after exposure to a toxic facial cream. Will Clayface set to reshape oh, I'm sorry, with I don't know why I said will. With Clayface set to reshape horror in the DCU, do you think this film will redefine what comic book villains can be on the big screen, or will it stick to the traditional monster movie formula?
It's going to be interesting to see where they go with this because I think a lot of people forget that James Gunn started in horror, right?
Oh,
And
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know to what extent his hands are going to be in this, because like he's not writing, directing everything in DC, but it's like, as a producer, there's still probably going to be places like if he's the Kevin Feige, there's still going to be places where he's like, hey, we should probably go this direction, we should do this, or go more on this, and he has decent like horror acumen as well. So I mean, like
Mhm.
I feel like they're gonna go full horror with this. It's not gonna be campy monster or anything like that. Like I feel like this is gonna be a full on horror movie, a la like Slither.
Okay. Well, I could see something like that,
Mhm.
like Slither. I was thinking like they could even like really go for the like an Invisible Man type
Yep.
thing or oh, what's the other one? Like werewolf, like the werewolf by night, that kind of thing. That where it's like it looks old school, but it's really not. And yeah, I would love something like that. I think it's an interesting take. I hope it does really well because I would love to see uh Batman's villains have a more horror aspect to them because there
Right.
are a lot that are based on we said this I think last week that sometime last week, I don't know. I've been on this channel a lot recently, so I'm not really sure which show I said it on. But that they are they're fear. Everything is fear, what people
Right.
are afraid of. They're afraid of bats, they're afraid of fear itself, they're afraid of clowns, they're afraid they're not gonna be able to, like, perform where well, that, the Riddler, they won't that they're not smart enough. People have a fear of not being smart enough. People have a fear of, the crocodiles in the sewers. People have a fear there's so many things, so and all of them are fear of poison,
Yeah.
poison ivy.
And
I mean, there's
Clayface's whole thing is fear of self because the whole idea is shape
yeah.
shifting and becoming something else or becoming something that you're not. Um, I would love if they did follow Feet of Clay, like if you've ever seen that two-part episode.
Oh, it's
Um,
amazing.
Matt Hagen is haunting and horrifying at the same time. Like that version of Clayface. So I mean, like if and again, it's not just haunting and horrifying, but also there is a level of I don't want to say drama because he's an actor playing an actor, but like more like there's a lot of emotional weight behind Matt Hagen's version of Clayface. There's a lot of regret
Yeah.
and doubt
Yeah.
and and just I'm not good enough and all these things and it's and just that translating to anger and that's why he fights Batman the way he does. Like I would love to see that version of Matt Hagen.
Well, and also it's a descent into madness.
Right.
Like because his outer self changed, his inner self changed, and you kind of see that descent into madness.
Right.
And so it's great. I think that it's so he's a dude playing a dude pretending to be another dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah,
That's for sure.
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
Love it. Um But yeah, no, I think it's really interesting. I just like that take on it. I feel like that might actually get me to watch a Joker movie.
Yeah.
More horror, which you would think I would hate that, but no, let's do this. Let's make it happen. All right, let's move on.
All right. Let us continue.
Glenn Close and Billy Porter are proving that even in Panem, marriage can be deadly. Close and Porter have officially joined the cast of Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping. Close will play Drusilla Sickle, the ruthless escort for District 12's tributes, while Porter will take on the role of Magno Stift. Oof, yeah. Okay. Sickle and Stift. Oh, right. Her estranged husband and the designer responsible for outfitting the tributes. Now I understand why it's both of these people. The film, based on Suzanne Collins' novel of the same name, takes place nearly 25 years before the original Hunger Games saga, focusing on the 50th Hunger Games, also known as the Second Quarterquell. This installment follows Hamish Abernathy, who later becomes a mentor to Katniss Everdeen and Peeta Mellark. Do you think that adding Close and Porter is a good idea?
I actually do. So Glenn Close can act her way through anything, and
Yeah,
she
it's true.
is so good. Every role that she is put in, knocks it out of the park. It could be something small, it could be something big. She's an amazing actress. Like Glenn Close is all time great, one of the all time greatest actresses of all time. Billy Porter is also a great actor. I think
Hmm.
just everything that he's been in has been great, and I feel like that is a good pick, especially considering what their characters are supposed to do, and like what they're on. Like Billy Porter as a as a outfit designer. I mean, tell me that doesn't fit.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I think like when I heard, like when read that he was going to be like a designer, I was like, yeah, they're still doing it. Love it. Because I loved Lenny Kravitz as Katniss's designer
Right,
in the first two Hunger Games. And I was like, oh, I love this. So I love that they're sticking with that. And he's going to be amazing. And he's going to be dressed amazing. Everyone knows it. And to have Glenn Close play his like estranged wife, I'm just like, oh, yes, please. Let's do this. I want to see this.
right.
So
So
yeah.
like Deadpool mentioning her role in Hook, and it's like, yeah, it was so good. You didn't know that was her, and she was
Right.
so good.
Yeah.
The boo
Yeah.
box. No, like I really thought that was a dude. I would have never guessed that was Glenn Close.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's very diverse. Like
Yeah,
she can do comedy, she can do drama, she can overplay, she can underplay. She's really good at her job,
right,
and her job is to act. So
right,
let's
absolutely.
not forget Death Becomes Her.
Oh man, we just rewatched that movie recently. It's so good.
It is very good.
Glenn
It's
Close
good.
again. She's just so good at everything she does.
Yeah, definitely.
Cruella Deville.
Definitely.
She was the first live action Cruella Deville.
Yeah, she was. Yep. All right, so let's move on. Let's do this. Let's go. Let's get into this. I volunteer as tribute because we got merch, people.
We got merch, people. Oh shit, we're early again. I need to stop prematurely merching it because we're not. It's not merch time.
Merch. We've got
We got
merch. The
merch.
ghost of merch,
All
people.
right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, nothing is stronger than family, except a new roller coaster.
Family.
That surprisingly worked really well.
Nothing stronger than family.
I am Groot.
Okay.
All right. Universal Studios Hollywood is all gas, no brakes. If you don't know that reference, watch your wrestling with its wildest thrill ride yet, Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. I'm already shaking my head at this. All right. This will be Universal's fastest roller coaster ever, hitting a top speed of 72 miles per hour. It's also the biggest coaster the Hollywood park has ever built. Rather than fight the park's famously tricky terrain, the design team leaned into it. The track snakes down the hills, accelerating as it goes, like a controlled free fall from with Dom Toretto's level attitude. The 4,100 feet of track includes elevated segments and plunging drops, with one of the most eye-catching features is the coaster's ride vehicles that fully rotate 360 degrees. So check out the Distance Nerdington post on Facebook with the teaser video. Fast and the Furious Hollywood Drift officially starts its engines sometime in 2026. And you know, they're using gravity just like Dom Toretto in space. Driving cars in space.
I'm going to make this fast and furious for everyone out there. I don't care. I don't care. I don't want another Fast and Furious movie. I don't care to do a ride.
Rides, I don't
Yeah.
mind. The ride, I don't mind.
Family is a thing, and it's a thing in a lot of stuff. And yeah, can we just bury this Fast and
I
Furious?
don't have
Just
friends.
stake it in the
I
heart
got
and
family.
just bury it.
Oh, absolutely terrible. All right, let's move on to the next story here.
Oh, new babysitter for Jack Jack.
Jack
My
Jack.
favorite.
I know.
Disney and Pixar are officially moving forward with The Incredibles 3. And for the first time in the series, Brad Bird won't be in the director's chair. Instead, longtime Pixar veteran Peter Son, fresh off the success of Elemental, will take the helm. Son has been part of the Pixar family for decades, contributing in various roles on The Incredibles, Incredibles 2, Finding Nemo, Up, and Wall-E. Most recently, he directed Elemental, which we mentioned, which quietly climbed to nearly 500 million at the global box office after a soft start. No release date or story details have been shared. I do love me some Incredibles. I will say that. But the
Absolutely.
Jack Jack and the raccoon thing, oh my God, that was hilarious. In the second one, oh man. I still will just watch that scene and just laugh.
I'm kind of excited to see kind of how old they're gonna be in the third one. Like, I want to see, is Jack Jack like kind of the same age that that Dash was,
Oh,
right?
that would be great.
By this, so
Yeah.
like, you know, he's like Dash's age. He's like, you know,
Mhm.
8 or 9. Dash is like in he's either like 18, 19,
Mhm.
which means that Violet would be like in her early 20s,
Yeah.
right?
So
And
it's like they're sending Dash off to college
yeah,
and Violet's coming back from college and they've got a preteen with Jack Jack. Oh man. Oh yeah.
it's just going to be
Oh.
interesting to see like where the family dynamic goes with them, just because they already have that kind of like in, I was going to say Incredibles, but that's not what I meant to say. I was going to say the Fantastic Four dynamic that they have.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, it'd just be really interesting to see how they kind of go about everything with that. It's such a fun franchise. Again, we used to call this Fantastic Four before like, this is, if you were going to do a Fantastic Four movie, the way you do it right is The Incredibles. So it's like,
Right, exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree with you. And here's the thing. What if they don't? What if they do it like pull a Simpsons on us and they're the exact same age as they have been in the last two?
Well, I mean, because they were like a year older in the second one. And then in this one, I mean, they could just easily just say, we're gonna keep it in the late 60s, because that's kind of where it takes place. We're gonna keep it in the late 60s. And you know, maybe they're only like 2 or 3 years older, because I do want to see Jack Jack aged up. Jack Jack as a baby is like, yeah, he's interesting and whatnot, and he's cute as all hell, but like, I want to see him like maybe 3 or 4 causing mayhem.
Yeah,
I want to see Terrible Twos Jack Jack.
that would be amazing. Terrible twos or first day of kindergarten.
Oh God, first day of kindergarten with Jack Jack, and Jack Jack is just causing all of the
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah. Jack's like, hey, I'm the problem. It's me.
Right. Like I what I want is kind of them trying to figure out how to teach Jack Jack how to control his powers. Especially because he's an elemental, like he's so OP. Like
Yeah.
you need to, like, if you do it in a way where it's like, okay, we need to teach him how to control his power so he's not causing all these problems, kind of how they were with Dash, where it's like, Dash, you need to control yourself and you need to, not super speed your way around everything.
Absolutely. Um, it was so I like how they did it. What was it? Toy Story 3, how they did where they aged up Andy and then they gave the toys to or was that 4?
I think it was 4 when he gives the toys to the little girl.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so whichever one that they did
Oh
that
no, that was
in.
3. That was 3 because the end
Was
of
that
3,
3? Okay.
yeah, the end of 3, the whole thing was like, the like he could have potentially lost all the toys, and then
Mm.
he ends up giving them to her, and then the 4th one was about like kids' imaginations and how like she had like a spork that was a fun toy for her.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay. So I liked that. So hopefully they'll do something like that where like they do let them grow up. That would be
Yeah.
amazing. Because The Simpsons, I mean, let's face it, like if The Simpsons kids were allowed to grow up, they would be on pension now. But
Well,
that's because it's ridiculous.
I know. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking about Toy Story, and speaking of Toy Story, Yodelay, who's the new toy? At this year's Annecy, is it Annecy? Annecy Animation Festival, Pixar offered a glimpse into Toy Story 5, unveiling concept art and a 2-minute sneak peek from the upcoming sequel, which is set to hit theaters summer 2026. The idea of toys meet tech, with Bonnie now 8 years old. So we were just talking about aging up. Now 8 years old, discovering a toy tablet that immediately threatens the relevance of her more traditional toys. Is the tablet the new Buzz Lightyear?
No, I think the tablet is a tablet.
Did you see some of the stuff about like so they showed like the first 5 minutes of the movie, and the opening scene is a bunch of Buzz Lightyears trying to figure themselves out.
Oh, that's awesome. I
Yeah.
love that. I
So
love
that,
it when they do that.
yeah, it's like, it's a bunch of Buzz Lightyear action figures all like standing on top of a bed. There's like a bunch of them, and they're all just trying to figure themselves out.
That's funny. I love that. Well, and I mean, I dig that. I liked when they went to the store and there were a whole bunch of Buzz Lightyears and they all got out. Yeah, you have to have Buzz in there
When
when
you
they
when you
do.
hit when they hit the SAP button, that was the best.
That
It was
was
like Buzz Lightyear
amazing.
speaking Spanish.
That was so great. Yeah, it'll be a good time. The Toy Story movies are always a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they stab you in the heart and then it's a good time again.
That's basically it. Let's go ahead and move on to the next story here.
Star Trek just got redshirted. That's the story. I'm done. No. Paramount Plus just gave Star Trek Strange New Worlds a bittersweet gift with a renewal for a 5th season, which will also be its last. Ahead of the show's much anticipated season 3 premiere, the streamer officially confirmed that Strange New Worlds will conclude with the 6th episode, 5th season. Production on that final voyage is slated to begin later this year. There are still 3 full seasons left to watch, including season 3, which kicks off with a 2-episode drop on Thursday, July 17th, followed by weekly episodes through September 11th. Season 4 is currently in production. I mean, maybe they're doing this because it's originally it was a 5-year mission. Strange, like Star Trek, the original Star Trek,
I
it
see what
actually
you're doing.
said a 5-year mission.
I see what you're
And
doing.
so, yeah, so maybe they did it for that, and they're like, well, we kind of wanted to be done in 4, but let's do some in 5, so in a season 5, so we can say we did fulfill the 5-year mission. So I think that's kind of neat.
Well, I know a lot of series now are shooting for 5 or and no more, for like 5 seasons and no more, mostly just because they don't want to get into this whole, okay, so let's go into syndication, have like 500 episodes in the season and 90% of it be filler. Like now they're trying to be more of a, let's get right to the point, tell the story that we want to tell, and let's go through
Yeah.
5 seasons, so that way we're not just dragging it on just for the sake of dragging it on. Like tell the
Like
story that
Happy Days and Jumping the Shark.
which one's where they jumped the shark. I mean, like that's kind of like where a lot of these series are starting to go. And I know like a lot of the studios, they're building this model based on Netflix and Disney, because Netflix and Disney, like Disney has proven that you can do a compelling show in 8 episodes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You know, so I think, and Netflix is also doing that. You know, I think that that's kind of where they're going is, hey, we have a successful show, but let's end it before it just starts going too long. And then you get this whole situation with The Walking Dead where it's just kind of like, okay, are we done with this yet?
Or Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones went 2 seasons too far, but only because it was not. I mean, the last 2 seasons weren't George R.R. Martin, so.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
Mhm.
Yeah, all right. Well, I think we've said enough of that.
Yeah.
Enough for the Star Trekkies.
Enough. The
Trekkers.
Trekkers. They're not Trekkies. Trekkie is
Hey
derogatory.
now. No, that's Trekkies or the original.
No, it's a joke from Fanboys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I didn't
Trekkers
get it.
is what we're called. Trekkers. Trekkie is derogatory. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on because Paramount has rolled out. Paramount Pictures isn't moving forward with the sequel to Transformers 1. The animated reboot was originally planned as the launch pad for a trilogy, but it has officially hit a dead end, and director Josh Cooley confirmed the news during a panel at BotCon 25. I was excited for where we were going next, Cooley admitted, but as of now, there are no plans to continue. Paramount isn't moving forward with the sequel, which is absolutely fucking sad because that first movie was amazing. Hasbro recently announced it would no longer co-finance theatrical films based on its brands, which is a move that all but slams the brakes on any future Transformer feature films, animated or otherwise. So because Hasbro is pulling out because they can't like really finance everything anymore, that's where like the studios are like, oh, it's not money from the toy companies anymore, then we don't want to make these movies.
There goes the Kool-Aid movie.
Yep, Kool-Aid movie's not happening anymore.
Yeah, I can't say that I'm disappointed. I didn't watch the first one.
Transformers 1 was really good. It was really funny. It's on Paramount Plus, so if you guys haven't watched it yet, go ahead and check it out. It's got all the good comedy beats. For the most part, it follows the story from the comics. I mean, some variations and stuff like that, but I mean, they did. Yeah, it's very obvious when you watch the movie, or when you watch the movie, they didn't like dismiss the canon from the comic. They incorporated a lot of it, but like kind of just like retold the origin story. So, but I mean, it's good. It was really well done.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I just can't get over that they chose to transform into cars. They looked at Earth and said, "Well, we need to transform into cars."
What would they
That's
transform
really
into?
what it is.
What would they have? What they're giant sentient robots that can transform. What would they transform into?
I don't know, buildings,
Why
people.
buildings? What? But then they wouldn't look like people though, because they're robots.
They look just like cars.
And remember, originally it was because it was toys that turned into robots, right? They were just toy cars that turned into robots. you know,
Uh-huh.
and they made a cartoon to sell those toys, which was
Yeah.
like 90%.
No, I know. I
Yeah.
know. I'm well aware of
Yeah.
why they really are cars.
You
I'm
just
just
don't like the
saying that's
story
a
they
big
came.
old plot hole, and I don't accept the premise.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I just don't.
Well, let's go ahead and move on to the
But you
next
know
story,
what? I'm getting primed for more Reacher.
as we all are.
After months of speculation and silence from the show's creative team, Alan Rickson, Phil's boo,
Oh, yeah.
who has brought Lee Child's Hulkin hero to life, took to social media with a photo, 4 fingers up on one hand, and in the other, a copy of Gone Tomorrow. The 16th book in the Reacher series will serve as the inspiration for the show's upcoming 4th season.
It's
Dun
gonna be
dun
good.
dun.
It's gonna be good just because I mean, Lee Childs has a massive following as far as the books go now, and Reacher has
Yeah.
been so good. It makes sense. So, I enjoy that they continue on with this and that we're getting more of it. So,
Yeah, it's a solid show. I like it a
it
lot.
is.
And Alan Rickson does a good job. He really does.
Yeah,
I agree. Hmm.
yeah, and he's hot.
Still don't think he
So
should be Batman.
he should 100% be Batman.
No, he should not.
There's no other person that fits the mold of Batman more than he does.
Agree to disagree.
You can disagree all you want. You're wrong.
Really? Oh, are we gonna do this? Are we gonna do this? Because I I I have some other people that would be really good Batman. That's all I'm saying. And I have put them on my Instagram before of who I thought would be a good Batman. So he's tall enough.
Are they comic book
He was
actors?
yes, he was in Masters of the Air.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I think his last name is Mann.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look it up.
Which, by the
You
way,
keep talking.
to go further on my, and I'm not going to go rant on this, but like, someone was saying that Batman can't be taller than Superman, right? Well,
Well,
James
really,
Sweat is 6'4".
he's 6'4".
I did not realize he was that big.
Nate Mann. Nate Mann is who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The guy's name is Nate Mann.
But yeah, he's 6'4", which means that Alan Ritchson would still be the right size up against him.
Okay. All right. I like that.
I
Look, I'm not saying that it would be a bad thing. I'm just saying that there are other people out there that could also do it.
okay.
That's all I'm saying.
No, and
Okay.
I'm not disagreeing against that. I'm just saying that I think Alan Ritchson should play the character. Now he's probably not going to because he's what in his mid 40s and they're looking for somebody in their 30s. So I mean, I get it,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? But I mean, still, like
Hmm.
I'm still gonna I'm still gonna hold out hope. Anyways,
Yeah.
let's
You're gonna hold out. You're gonna hold out Rickson hope.
I'm gonna hold out Rickson hope. Well, let's go ahead and move on to this next story here. Over to some DC news, even though we've already been talking DC for inadvertently. Warner Brothers Animation and DC Studios has dropped a major announcement at the Annecy Animation Festival with Mr. Miracle, which is getting its own adult animated series based on the Eisner Award. Yeah. Based on the Eisner Award-winning 12-issue comic by Tom King and Mitch Gerrits, Tom King will also serve as executive producer and showrunner. So no additional news on when that's coming out, but we know it's going to be coming. So that's actually exciting news as well.
Okay, so I have questions.
Mm-hmm.
My first one is, do you think it's going to be in the vein of like Harley Quinn, the series? Because that would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and how adult are we talking about here?
Well, because they specifically said adult show, I think it's going to be in the vein of Harley Quinn. I think it's the animation already seems like it lives in that universe. Like it'd be a spin-off from that.
Well,
I was
Creature
thinking-
Commandos is also considered an adult animated series. I guess they cursed in that all the time. Okay, never mind. I'm shutting up now.
yeah, and there's also like 2 sex scenes in Creature Commandos.
Oh yeah, there are.
Yeah.
I blocked them out because I was like, why is she doing that? No, he's old. Stop it.
Well, like I said, animation wise, it looks more like Harley Quinn, so I kind of feel like it's going to be in that Harley Quinn vein of like it's going to be in that world just for the world building aspect of it. Either way, I mean,
No, I think so. Yeah.
whether it's in the mainstream DC universe or if it's in that Harley Quinn kind of like little side universe, either way, it's going to work because what they're trying to do is build established lore where you don't have to retell the stories, you know. So
Yeah.
I mean, James Gunn just recently announced that superheroes, as far as he's gonna, like, I guess he said it's gonna come out in Superman, but superheroes have been in the universe for. Wait a minute, is that the story we're gonna talk about? Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna shut up now and let you talk.
Are you?
Yeah.
You think you're gonna let me do that? You're gonna let me have my moment?
Let's move into the next story before I give away which part of your story. So I had to like go and look. I was like, wait a minute, are we gonna talk about this here? We are. Let me shut up.
And I was just letting you go. I was like, he's just gonna ruin it. It's okay. I'm used to it.
I
No, I'm
caught
kidding.
myself before I said it. I caught myself.
You did. And you know what else? Eyes up here. Thanks to a new interview with Fandango, we now know exactly how long Clark Kent has been flying around as the Man of Steel in this new DC universe. 3 years. It's just 3 years. This is year 3. 3. Gunn gave fans a little more insight into what to expect from Superman and how it fits into the larger universe he's building, saying we're introducing a whole new world, which is a lot of fun. We're in an alternate reality where superheroes have existed for 300 years, and now we're just picking up on the story of one particular superhero 3 years after he comes on the scene, who happens to be the most powerful metahuman of all time. Superman flies into theaters on July 11th.
I love the idea that we're coming into a universe that's already been in existence, that superheroes have existed for 300 years already.
Well, yeah, I mean, and we should be. That should be a thing. We should never come into a universe as this is the first superhero. Marvel didn't do that. We got Iron Man, and it was just about how Iron Man became Iron Man and how Captain America became Captain America, and they built up to something, but they never once said, hey, no, these superhero, this isn't, maybe, Captain America said, hey, made them think, maybe we should have like a group of them to do group things in case one of them can't handle it. But I think that's the only thing that Captain America did. So I could see this. I'm trying to make a horrible correlation. I apologize, but no, I do think that's the way to do it.
Well, they also like Marvel in general has had a tendency of telling stories that will kind of like retroactively add things into their universe. So Ant-Man established that, oh no, superheroes have been around since the 60s when Ant-Man was, and the first Ant-Man was running around and stopping the Cuban Missile Crisis and stuff like that, right? Then Black Panther established that Wakanda has had the Black Panther for fucking ever, so I mean, like it's they're really good about retconning stories in a way where it makes sense within that universe. So I mean, like I like the idea of we don't need to retcon anything because at the very beginning we're already saying that superheroes have been around for 300 years. We can tell stories all around. You can even get to a point where you tell that first superhero story down the line somewhere.
Well, and you have to think about it. Hot Girl is part of this first movie.
Hmm.
And Hot Girl's origins, if they go with the reincarnated Egyptians, that would be about, I mean,
Yeah.
that,
Well,
that
from
could
what I understand,
be
they're doing
part of it.
from what I understand, they're doing the Thanagarian version, which I actually like better. I've always enjoyed the Thanagarian version of Hot Girl more than the Egyptian reincarnation one.
Yeah, I mean, I have liked that too. I'm just saying like they could go, and actually they could do both of those.
Hmm.
Um, it could just be who knows? I don't know. But there have been so many retcons on so many heroes' origins just for whatever was in at the time. But
Hmm.
yeah. So I can see having a universe where there are already established heroes and Superman's just the next one. But then they realize that, oh crap, Superman's like he can survive anything. Like it's that kind of thing. I think that's what the other heroes are going to be. I do feel like there's going to be an adversarial type role and almost a, hey, you're not as good as I am.
Oh yeah, I mean
You don't
that
know as much as we know, kind of
that
thing.
new trailer that came out, like the way that was it Hot Girl that was talking shit to Guy Gardner.
Oh, I think it was.
Yeah, you and your stupid haircut. Wait, what'd you say?
Yeah. Oh no, that was Lois Lane that said
That
you
was
and your
Lois Lane
stupid
that
haircut.
told,
Yeah, yeah.
told me he had a stupid haircut. I love
Mhm.
that she's just willing to talk the smack to Guy Gardner.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, that and then also the one where um like it's Guy and Clark up against each other, like, well, Kal-El up against each other and he's like, "Oh, do it, Big Blue. Do it." Like, that kind of thing and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh yeah, no this is yeah,
and they
cuz
already have established
Guy
friendship.
Gardner's yeah, is absolute masculine toxicity
Yes,
at its best. I
which is what
apologize.
Guy and Hal should be.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. I have to include Hal in that because Hal Jordan is also a different kind of toxic masculinity. So
Yes. And he may or may not have groomed someone. Anyway, moving on, back to Superman. No, I
hey,
really
she became a
enjoyed
Star
this.
Sapphire. Okay, she became
No,
the Star
no.
Sapphire.
I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about another character
Mm,
because she wasn't underage. Carol Ferris was not underage. He did groom uh,
a minor.
someone
Okay,
that became a Green Lantern later.
Jessica.
Anyway, so
I
no,
heard the
there
next
was
to that.
humor in the new Superman trailer. I think that it's good. People are saying, and I think maybe I don't know who it was that was saying that they didn't know that if they were that hyped up about Superman because he's not like, the big Superman. And I was like, yeah, but this is just he's a baby. He's a baby hero. He doesn't know what kind of hero he is yet. He doesn't know how powerful he is because
Right.
he's never really tried to face some of this stuff. And so he's a baby. He doesn't know. And so these are some of his missteps. So this first movie is going to be his big step
Yeah.
into this larger world, really. And then we'll grow with him,
Right.
you
It's gonna
know.
be interesting to see because like there are so many different characters that have come out that he's gonna deal with, and it's like, holy
Mhm.
crap, he's gonna fight Gargantua, he's gonna fight we know Lex is in this, we know that the Authority is in this. Like there
Yeah.
are so many different characters that he is interacting with that almost feels like they may be like to me it feels like they're oversaturating characters, but I trust James Gunn enough that they're going to be like minor characters, and like some of the characters we see aren't going to be like characters that are all throughout the entire story. You know what I mean? Like they're going to be like cameos, but like, you know, that's setting up stories for other movies or for other TV shows or for cartoons and stuff like that. So
Right. I also think it's going to be like Matt Murdock in Spider-Man
right,
No Way Home.
right, exactly. That's kind of like what I'm getting at is that's, I feel like
Yeah.
that's what's going to end up happening, as much as I feel like, oh, there's a lot of oversaturation that's happening.
Mhm.
I kind of like sit back and go, okay, you know what he's doing is he's just introducing characters and giving them small cameos so that way they have bigger roles later on.
Yeah, he's building the universe by just putting us in the universe.
Right.
And we as fans have to catch up. And
Right.
I like that. That's what I want. Because then you're like, wait a minute, did they just say this person's name? But that's this hero or whatever, like, and I used to do that all the time, like through the animated movies, and I do it through like MCU and stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, I just heard this name. Why does that make the inside of my head itchy? You know what I mean? Like, how do I know that name? So I like that, and I think that'll be a really cool thing. Like Crispus Allen. Like every time I hear his name, I'm like, oh, is he gonna become Spectre? Oh my god! Oh my, like and I start getting a little. So I'm gonna love doing that. I can't wait to do that again with
Right.
DC characters, and
Absolutely.
I think, yeah, I think this is gonna be amazing. I was gonna ask, like, which are you more excited about? Like, if Fantastic Four and Superman came out on the same day, which one are you seeing first?
I already know my answer to this, and I'm gonna upset some
It's gonna
people.
be It's gonna be Fantastic Four, isn't it?
No, it's gonna be Superman.
Oh my god, me too.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I love the Fantastic Four, right? But I
Right.
mean, like growing up, I didn't have the same attachment to the Fantastic Four that I had to Superman. I grew up watching the Fleischer cartoons. My mom had a VHS of this Fleischer Superman cartoon, so you know I watched the Max Fleischer Superman cartoons. I really got into Lois and Clark.
Hmm.
When the Superman animated series came out, I was really attached to that. And he was kind of my anchor character going into Justice League. As much as I love Batman,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Like Superman was always my anchor character in the DC universe and the DC
Hmm.
animated universe. So I've always been like a fan, and I'm somewhat of an apologist for Superman because there's a lot of people that don't like Superman that are like, oh, well, Superman's the big blue Boy Scout and he can't do wrong and he's the strongest and all this other stuff. But like, what I like about Superman is when you give him to the right writer, there is nuance to his character, and he is not infallible, right? I love
Right.
when writers give him a sense of morality and a sense of mortality that is beyond, or is almost like a limit to what he is, right? Because
Yeah.
it is Superman, if he just foregoes all of human morality and realizes that he is an immortal, uh, we get Superman Prime, who doesn't need to eat food, who no longer is affected by kryptonite or magic.
Yeah.
And that story, you would think that, oh, you hear those parts and it's like, well, that's gonna be boring. You have a guy that can't be beaten. Well, what makes that story so fucking good is that it's 1,000 years in the future. Everyone he cares about is dead, and he realizes, I am the only one who is going to survive. I can survive a fucking supernova. I'm never gonna die. And he deals
Yeah.
with his own. He deals with his own. I was gonna say mortality, but immortality, and it's almost like it drives him crazy. It's kind of the same thing that happens to the Hulk when he becomes Maestro, right? Is he loses his mind over time and then becomes a fucking cannibal and starts eating everybody. But it's like, it's with Superman, it's he has to find ways to stave off madness, And that has always been something for me that makes me feel like Superman is a compelling character, that he is not just the big blue Boy Scout, that the morality that he has is because his human Kansas parents drove it into him to always do the right thing.
Yeah, no, so okay, so before I watched Captain America, the first Avenger,
Mhm.
I wasn't a big fan of Captain America in the comics because I
Mhm.
was like, oh, he's so goody goody, blah, right? Same thing with Superman. I was like, oh, he's just so good, so righteous, and so everything. And so I was like, no. But I loved Batgirl. I loved Power Girl, Wonder
Mhm.
Girl, all the girls. I liked all the girls and Wonder Woman and all
Yeah.
that. And so I did read a lot of Superman because a lot of them were in it. So yeah, so I really like Superman for what he was, but I was not a Superman fan. And I am excited about this movie. I am more excited about this Superman than I have been in a while for a
Right.
Superman. And I watched the George Reeves TV show. I watched that. I watched all the Superman cartoons. I watched because it was the only thing like it was what we had from DC.
Right.
I was like, well, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna do it. So I have an appreciation of Superman, but I am really excited and invested in this Superman before it came out.
Yeah, I agree.
Like before it's come out. So I'm like, I'm really excited. And I think I'm more excited about this than I am the Fantastic Four. And I love Pedro. I
Yeah,
love him.
absolutely.
So I'm gonna have to be a Corn Sweat fan now. That's just gonna happen.
I mean, even
I'm
looking at
not
the
happy
picture,
about it.
he's very Superman. Just looking at him here.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yep.
we got to move on. We spent way too much time on this topic, so let's move on here, ladies and gentlemen. And since we haven't had enough news from Annecy International Animation Film Festival, Netflix showed up to present fans with the first look at the animated spin-off series Stranger Things: Tales from '85. Described as a family spectacle blending nostalgia with supernatural intrigue. So we do have an opsis here, Jen. If you wanna tee me up
We have
here,
an opsis?
we have an opsis.
Man, it's been 84 years since we've had an opsis. Okay. I can do it. Rolling natty 20 opsis. We got a log line, aka a synopsis.
Roll a natty 20 opsis. We got a log line, aka a synopsis. Just said synopsis 3 times. All right. Netflix's official log line for the series reads, "Welcome back to Hawkins in the stark winter of 1985, where the original characters must fight new monsters and unravel a paranormal mystery terrorizing their town in Stranger Things: Tales from '85, an epic new animated series. Stranger Things: Tales from '85 comes out next year."
Huh.
It's kind of exciting. I mean, getting more story out of Stranger Things, and I mean, I kind of do want more out of it, and kind of seeing some of the adventures that they go through. I'm also interested in seeing what the animation is going to look like with all of them. Also, whether they all come back to voice their characters or not.
Yeah, I mean, well, it might be interesting. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. I also think this is supposed to fill in the time that is between the last season and the final season.
Okay.
Because
All
the
right.
final
Well,
season, I think, is
yeah.
supposed to take place like 3 years later, and it takes place in 1987.
I haven't watched Stranger Things since season 1, so.
Oh God, yeah. Just because like during COVID, they had to like stop filming and everything like that. So like, everybody got older and they didn't film for like 3 years. So
I know.
to justify
It
everything,
happens.
they're jumping in time because everybody got
Mhm.
older. So
Sometimes you gotta do that.
yeah,
Oftentimes you have to do that when you have younger actors.
right. This is another example of a series that earlier when I was talking about, like with Star Trek, ending a show before it becomes too much and just they just run out of ideas and they're just trying to make it keep going. Stranger Things
Mhm.
was like the whole plan from the beginning was for it to end after 5 seasons. So
Yeah, well, I mean, if you have a plan and that's what you wanna do, like Andor had that plan,
mhm,
and then they were like, "No, we can only do 2 seasons," and they made it work, but, like, there was a set, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end, and I think if you have that vision, I think that's great. And I think a lot of creators can do that now since there are more options streaming
right,
wise. And so I think that's cool. But yeah, no, I love it. Let's go ahead and do it.
absolutely. All
Is
right,
there
so let's go
somebody
ahead.
waiting?
Is there? Oh, the Jamed has made
Hey,
his way into the building.
And we're here to nerd
just in time
together.
to read the
Jamed,
story.
that is it's very nice to see you here tonight for like 5 minutes.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
Thanks for
absolutely.
thanks for letting me come in. I'm just on time, right? So 6:30.
6:30. Yeah, 6:30. That's the
Nailed
exact
it.
time that we're doing this. Well, how about you hop right in and you read the next story here. It's a big one.
And even more from
I can't
Nancy.
hear James.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
No.
I
Nancy's
can't hear him.
International Animation Film Festival. Netflix just rolled out one of the most ambitious animation slates, offering an early peek at a lineup. Oh my God, Netflix went crazy. Netflix spotted projects aimed at every demographic from Dr. Seuss, preschoolers to adults, animation diehards. Have you looked at this? How many like animated shows they're putting out?
Yeah, I was looking at like all of this. It's pretty insane the amount of shows that they have coming out here.
I'll run through a few just because these are the ones that hit, but there's like 5 or 6 more that I saw but I didn't know what they were, but it is pretty net. So, this one I was hoping Shadu would be on the show, but he's not. But Magic the Gathering is coming. One of the bigger IPs out there. So, one of Netflix's biggest swings is a sprawling adaptation of Magic the Gathering. Dylan Thomas hyped the project as an epic fantasy saga with Terry Matalis leading the writing, Oscar winner Patrick Osborne directing, and Simon Rogers as our art director. I'm excited for this one.
I'm also excited for this, man. And our friend of the show, Brandon McKinney, worked on this.
I was gonna ask you, is this the one, like the one he like
This
couldn't
is the one.
talk about? But then
Yep.
he
This is the one that
Interesting.
he storyboarded like 4 or 5 years ago.
like
He
like
was,
5 years ago now.
yeah, and he was so upset that that they canceled it because he's a big Magic guy. So like, he was like they canceled it and then they brought it back. And then last I talked to him, he was like, oh shit, they're like brought it back. So he was really excited about it.
Yeah, nuts. So nuts. Real quick. While we had it, can you go back one? They're also doing Clash of Clans. Have you guys played Clash of Clans?
I did back in the day. Like, well, I guess I say back in the day, but I mean, I played the game a while back. I played that game for a while. So
Shout out to Eric. Shout out to Say Wong in the chat, by the way. Yeah, I think I played it once or twice. It was a super fun game. It was like just for mobile, right?
yeah. Well, because it was one of those pay to play games, so it's kind of like after a while, I was like,
Mm.
okay, I'm not playing this anymore.
Gotcha. But I guess they're adapting and creating like a whole like storyline
Yeah, well,
around this now.
there was lore to the game itself, like so I mean, like it definitely was fun, and it was one of those things where it's like I'd like to see more like story behind this. So I mean, like that's what they're doing is they're finally doing a animated series behind this. But I mean, like that's where like a lot of companies are doing anyways. They're going back and taking these games and saying, hey, let's go ahead and just do an entire series based on this small IP game.
Well, it's
Yeah,
about
I
to be
didn't like
huge now.
Clash of Clans. It was weird.
It was kind of odd, but I kind of liked it. It was fun for a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I
But that,
wasn't like a World of Warcraft person either, so I think that's
oh,
probably why I was like, yeah, I just didn't. I
Yeah,
can
don't
hear
you
James
threaten me?
now.
Okay.
Don't you threaten me with a good time with World of Warcraft? I'll bust out
Yeah.
my paladin.
I wasn't a WoW. You'd think I would be though.
James
But
played WoW. James was a big WoW guy. Funny that he's like not massively into D&D, but he played WoW.
Wow, I
he's
remember
not into D&D yet.
I was such a nerd for World of Warcraft. I remember like so excited for the weekends so I could do nothing but like stay up for like 30 hours straight playing World of Warcraft. Oh
Yeah.
my god, I loved it. Loved it. And then
I just don't know how you
women.
have kids.
I know. Well, this is all before kids.
Well, I thought so, but I don't know how you got a woman to let you impregnate her.
I'm not sure either. Now that you think about it. It definitely wasn't World of Warcraft, I'll tell you that much. It might have been Ghostbusters because Ghostbusters has a new animated series coming to Netflix. It's a brand new Ghostbusters animated series, and it sounds nothing like what fans might expect. This is Ghostbusters like you've never seen it, said Dominique Bazet. The show is being animated by Flying Bark out of Sydney, Australia, and a new team in Madrid. Bazet added, "Our goal is never photorealism, but something tactile and tangible." Okay. Oh, by the way, so I kind of stepped on that one, but Flying Bark is out of Australia, but the show is going to be set in Madrid, Spain.
No, it's a gritty, stylized New York.
Oh, is it? Then I'm reading the wrong thing.
The Flying Bark, they've got a new team in Madrid that's
Oh, my
working
bad.
on the
Okay.
show, but the company is based out of Sydney.
There you go. Okay, New York then, because that's never been done before.
Well, I mean, because I know
it
we were talking
says
about this a while
that
back.
it-
Yeah, we talked about this a while back. It being in the same universe, but they're trying to focus more on the core, and they're doing something that is like, you know, the Ghostbuster core out of New York. So I mean, like, yeah, it's going to be an interesting show, and I remember them talking about like the animation is going to be very different than what we're used to.
Sweet.
It's not your dad's Ghostbuster animated series.
Not the one we used to watch in the 90s, in the 80s, well, late 80s. Yeah.
Yeah. Or mine,
No
because I'm old.
cooler.
Let's see what else we got. We got Blue Eye Samurai season 2. I didn't watch season 1, but I heard
Husby did. He loved it.
I heard
I've
a
heard
lot of
nothing
people that
bad
jumped
about
into it.
Yeah, I've heard nothing bad about this show. It was one of those shows I tried to start, but then I kept getting distracted, and I never actually started the show.
It's really pretty. Like, Husby, like, I think he binged it.
Yeah, it wasn't a lack
I
of
would go
wanting to
in
watch
and
it.
yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a lack of wanting to watch it. It was more like it was one of those days where there was like every distraction possible while I was trying to watch it, and it was like, yeah, no, I've got to come back to this, and I never went back to it.
Yeah, and it's got a good cast, good voice cast as well.
Awesome. Let's see the next one. There's a new Minecraft adaptation coming to Netflix because
Of course,
we haven't got enough Minecraft yet.
of course. At least this time, it looks like Steve is actually going to be like a denizen of the world.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know.
I haven't either. I've just heard like the way that they described the movie and like the way that fans described it, and kind of like the differences between the movie and the game and everything like that, and some of the things that just seem like weird and off. So
y'all need to just shut up. It's fun and it's lighthearted. It was fine. Jack Black, Jason Momoa. It was fine. I don't get out to see like big time movies, but I get to see all the kid movies. I've seen Minecraft and Lilo and Stitch,
which was amazing.
And
by the way,
How to Train Your Dragon.
I haven't seen How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah, I haven't seen How to Train Your Dragon yet. I went and saw Lilo and Stitch on Saturday. It was really good.
Was it? I'm gonna wait until those are all like streaming. So
If Bob Iger had his way, streaming would go away.
Yeah.
Okay. Those were the big ones.
well,
Let's
Bob
see.
Iger isn't the boss of me.
Okay. All right. Easy. Let's see. There's a few others, like Splinter Cell is getting an animated
Oh, no way.
debut.
Splinter Cell is getting its own animation. That's going to be cool.
Long story short, I think that's by the people that did BoJack Horseman.
Okay, so it'd be funny.
Oh,
Haunted Hotel by Dan Harmon.
Oh,
Oh,
like
that's fun.
anything from Dan Harmon is good. I'm behind anything from Dan Harmon. That Dan Harmon is everything he does is fucking magic. So I mean, I'm ready for that.
Yeah, and then there, like we said earlier, Dr. Seuss. There's going to be like a preschool Dr. Seuss type thing. I've never been a huge Dr. Seuss guy.
Be interesting to see what they do.
Hmm.
So Netflix rolling it all out. Okay.
It's fun stuff. Now you guys want to move into some like amazing news that we've been anticipating for like what 40 years?
Let's hear it.
Oh, let's do it. Since we had enough news from Annecy International Animation Film Festival, it has been confirmed that Bill Pullman, Rick Moranis, and Daphne Zuniga are returning as Lone Star, Dark Helmet, and Princess Vespa for Spaceballs 2. This brand new film comes from Amazon MGM Studios, and it was previously announced that Mel Brooks is also coming back as Yogurt. Adding to the cast is Kiki Palm.
So there's actually breaking news. Oh wait, no, it's in here. Keep going.
Adding to the cast is Kiki Palmer, who's still being kept top secret. The next generation of Lone Star is on deck. Lewis Pullman is in talks to join the cast of the long-awaited sequel. The movie is described as a non-prequel, non-reboot sequel part 2, but with reboot elements franchise expansion film.
Yes.
Love it.
The Schwartz awakens. The Schwartz awakens in 2027.
So Lewis
before we get
Pullman
into,
is now officially in it.
Okay, I was
He's
gonna say, before we
not
jump
just
into
in
everything,
talks now. Yeah,
I was just gonna say
he's
before
in
we do anything, Spaceballs the story.
right.
Spaceballs the
I
cat.
can't wait for the popcorn bucket.
Spaceballs the popcorn bucket. Oh my god, it's just gonna say Spaceballs the popcorn bucket on it. I guarantee you.
That's
would
awesome.
But it's gonna be 2 feet wide. So it's as big as the Galactus one.
Oh my god.
I want one like the big vacuum. I'd take a popcorn bucket the size of a vacuum,
just
For
a big
that vacuum.
Oh my god.
and I would hoover it down. Dun-dun.
I am so excited for this. Spaceballs. It was one of the best movies. I mean, Dark Helmet. I'm so excited. I can't get all my words out. The biggest thing that I'm excited about is Rick Moranis, because Mel Brooks said he would not do this movie if Rick Moranis didn't come back. Rick Moranis, just kind of like to give you guys an overview of the saga of the last couple of years with Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis was going to come out of retirement to do
From acting,
right? So he retired. For all the fans out there that don't know the story of Rick Moranis and everything, he retired from acting to take care of his kids after his wife passed away from cancer. His kids graduated from college and he was on his own again. So there were talks that Disney was going to make, or Disney was making a reboot sequel kind of deal for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And the story behind it was going to be about the mom from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids dies from cancer, and Rick Moranis' character was going to shrink down and kind of like in desperation to try and find a cure for cancer. And he was so touched by the story that he was like, I will come out of acting just to do this because it's something that is close to me and something that is a big deal for him. So then fast forward, he's slowly kind of getting into acting again. He does a commercial for Mint Mobile, right? With
Ryan Reynolds.
and
Did you
leaving.
forget his name? Did you literally forget Ryan Reynolds' name
No,
for a
I did
second?
not.
You
He does a
did. You
commercial with Ryan
totally
Reynolds,
did.
and what ends up happening is he gets on the subway to go home, and some random dude punches him in the face
Yeah, like on the subway.
on the subway. It was just
Yeah.
random, right? And he immediately took it in a way where it was like, I leave my house and go do an acting gig. It's a bad omen that I come home and this dude just punched me in the face randomly. So he quit and said, I'm not doing this movie anymore. I'm done. Right. And I know collectively the fan universe, I know me and James were pretty upset about this. We talked about it because we were like, dude, this asshole ruined our chance to get Rick Moranis back. Right. And it's like
Rick Moranis is a treasure.
he is. And like going from there, like there have been so many places where we're like, oh my god, this movie would have been better if Rick Moranis came back. Like there's been 2 Ghostbuster sequels, direct sequels to the old movies, and both times I've just been hoping for a cameo from Rick Moranis. Right?
Yep.
We've gotten cameos from every living actor that have been in Ghostbusters except Rick Moranis, and it's like it upsets me that we don't get that character. We don't get these characters that Rick Moranis did. So again, kind of this happened, and then we hear that Mel Brooks he's already had the script written for a while, and that he's been talking on talk shows for a while that I want to do Spaceballs, but if Rick Moranis doesn't come back, we're not doing it because you cannot replace Rick Moranis as Dark Helmet. It's you just can't do it. So then
that's like replacing James Earl Jones as Darth Vader's voice.
Right.
It ain't gonna happen, people.
Right. I mean, there have been people who have voice matched him for things, but I mean, it's always been James Earl Jones's voice.
Yes.
And yeah, it's the announcement comes out and Rick Moranis is officially signed, coming back as Dark Helmet, and I am beyond the moon. Like I am so elated, happy to know that we're gonna get another film with Rick Moranis in it, and I hope he sees this. I hope he sees how much fans miss him and how much we miss his work, and we stand with him for everything he's been through and every choice he's made. But dude, we want you back.
It's going to be amazing.
He's now in an undisclosed location for his own security.
I hope.
That asshole that tried to punched him. You're an asshole.
If
You're
we
a total
find,
asshole.
we need
Die.
to find out who this dude who punched him is, so everybody can just collectively punch him in the mouth.
Yeah,
Everybody gets a shot.
Like the 2 people that punched Baby Yoda. We still haven't forgotten about that, Jason Sudeikis. You're on the right track with Ted Lasso, but you have not been forgiven.
We know the body double who was in that scene. So
Jason Sudeikis.
So yeah, guys.
And it also note,
I've already taken up enough space here.
I know Josh Gad might have been a year ago now, had written a treatment, and he was so excited for Spaceballs 2, and he got it in front of Mel Brooks enough where he liked it, and it went through a few rounds. I think there's like 3 or 4 different people that have writing credits now on this, but Mel Brooks signed off on it. He's excited enough knowing that Mel Brooks isn't even going to direct this one. It's going to be Josh Greenbaum is going to direct it, but Mel Brooks is producing it. So, this is going to be awesome.
I just hope that the comedic timing and the sensibilities are all Mel Brooks. That's all I care about is that it's, even though it is not going to be a Mel Brooks movie, that it at least is something that can still fit in the realm of a Mel Brooks movie.
Yeah. I'm excited. Bring it on.
Absolutely.
Hey, you know who else was at the Annecy International Animation Film Festival?
Who?
Marvel.
Oh, of course.
And you know what? They're bringing out a Wakanda, Eyes of Wakanda series. So Marvel Animation debuted the first episode of its upcoming series, Eyes of Wakanda. And that's that picture. That is a really amazing picture.
It actually.
At this week's Annecy Animation Festival. I just want to say Annecy in the park. Okay, anyway. Director Todd Harris introduced the episode titled Into the Lion's Den before a Q&A session on the morning of June 9th. The episode, the first of 4 in the series, is set in 1260 BC, and it turns out a Wakandan secret agent, a disgraced former Dormalage, named Noni, I guess we follow her as she pursues a man by the moniker of Lion. Each
Oh.
of the 30-minute episodes will take place across different time periods, following different artifacts taken. But there is some continuity as the impact of the lion's actions will apparently be felt across all of that time. So, the lion starts it, I guess. Harris also teased some form of familiar Marvel characters making appearances. There will be an Iron Fist in here, and not the Iron Fist you expect. Eyes of Wakanda is set to premiere on August 6th of 2025 on Disney Plus. So the first thing I thought when I read this was, do you think that we're going to see um do you think we're going to see like Agatha in it? Do we she's been
Oh,
around a
like
long
some.
time.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. And then it's like, are we going to see like a Thor from way back and
Oh, yeah.
before all the crap happened to him? And there are a lot of long-lived characters in this, like in Marvel, in the MCU. Could we see those characters? Could we see a Apocalypse? Could we see a could
A
we
Moon
see
Knight.
like Namor?
I,
Because
see, I
he's
don't
pretty
think
old.
he is old, but I don't think we're gonna see Namor himself. I do think we're gonna see people from Talocan. Like the dude to his
Oh,
right.
maybe. Yeah.
The dude to his right looks like he's somebody from Talocan.
Okay. So yeah, we could get another like an avatar of whatever his name is, the Moon Knight guy.
Oh, Kanchi.
Khonshu. Yeah.
Mhm.
We could see that. We could see a lot, like we could see several things. There's just there's so many characters that are immortal. I that or long-lived, I guess.
Right.
That that you could bring in. I just think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I also feel like kind of how what they're saying in there is like we're gonna see characters who are part of the legacy of other characters, right?
Yes.
So, again,
Mhm.
Iron Fist being one of those characters, right? Like, Iron Fist is someone who come with like the one that we have in the MCU comes from a long line of Iron Fists, right? Same thing. Like we're
Right,
probably gonna
yeah.
get a Sorcerer Supreme.
Do you think we'll get him like
Ooh.
Mandarin? Do you think we'll see Shang-Chi's dad?
I don't know because I don't remember what year he came from. I know he came from
They didn't say. He just said he was an old ass Asian man.
right. I mean, like
Yeah.
I know he came from like one of the old dynasties, but the thing is how old of a time was that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, when they showed him in the like when they did the like past stuff, he was riding a horse and had a sword.
yeah, but that it could be that he shows up in one of those time frames.
Yeah. Either
Yeah.
way, I like where you're going with all this. Like
Mhm.
the idea that yes, we are gonna get, somebody from Thor or like Namor or something like that. And Iron Fist. I think that's amazing to tie the greater Marvel universe together like that. It could even be like a weird experiment to be like, okay, let's see how Iron Fist does in this show. If people like it, let's see what else we can do moving forward.
Well, and there is an Iron Fist that was like supposedly from the 40s or something, had guns and all
Mhm.
this other stuff. I can't remember who it was, but it was like, oh, what's the guy's name? I'm gonna open my Marvel Strike Force and see if I can find him in that because I do have him in Marvel Strike Force. So
Yeah, okay, all right. No bragging. No bragging.
Yeah.
Oh,
Again,
he's
take-
While
not a
you're
good.
doing that,
He's not very good.
while you're doing that, I'll tell you what I got.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You know what I got? I got merch, people.
You got merch, people.
The ghost of merch pass.
We got merch, people.
We got merch, people, but we got an old photo, and that still works, so that's okay. We got merch, people, and so can you. Just DM us at Distance Nerding on Instagram and let us know what size you're looking for, how many shirts you're looking for. We got the charcoal gray character shirt, and we have the newer logo shirt. The shout out to Eric in the chat who helped put that together, helped design it, helped make it.
Right.
Shout out to Eric, he's amazing. So if you want the logo shirt or if you want the character shirt, let us know. $20 each, 25 if we got to ship it to you. We have them out at the cons as well. So if you find us at the cons, pick one up. Cop that.
That's
Ooh,
right.
and we got bags too.
Yay!
We got bags. Now I still have
On bags.
Yeah, we still haven't fixed this slide. By we, I mean me. But ladies and gentlemen, let's talk schedule here. So Tuesdays, the download, the show you're watching right now, 6:30 to 8:30 on Tuesdays. Thursdays, we do the build from 6 to 8. We talk to fun guests. We do fun things. This week, we have no guests, but we're going to be doing a whole bunch of brackets and everything, doing some bracketology. It's going to be a fun time, guys. And then Fridays, the buzzer.
Oh, well, we might not do brackets on Thursday because Shadu won't be back until Saturday. So it'll just be me and you, Phil.
We can finish the brackets that we have.
Okay.
That was
I
her way
mean-
of saying she doesn't want to finish the brackets, young Phil.
Okay.
We have never successfully done brackets when I have been your co-host on the build. I'm just
And
saying
We're not going to start
that-
this week. I'll tell you that much.
it's not that.
Well, we're just going to be having
I'll-
fun, guys. Come and have fun with us.
I'm gonna come up with a couple of topics.
Okay,
I think.
that's good. No,
And,
that's
and
fun.
then we do have brackets, so yeah.
All right. Well,
Anyway,
then,
go back into it. Get back
On
into it,
Friday-
Phil. Back
on
in.
Friday, ladies and gentlemen, we've been doing the buzzer this week. We are doing a buzzer this week. We are going to be playing Jackbox 4, and supposedly Graveyard might be coming back for that. So, yeah.
Oh, all right, all right.
Yeah, but it's been a good time, guys. It's been a lot of fun playing Jackbox with everybody. Just, it gets more off the rails than we normally do, and it's fun as hell. So
I'm having a blast because
I've been having a great
I
time.
won like a lot
Yeah, you did.
last week.
Hey, did you cheat?
No,
not
I
like you
didn't
did.
cheat.
You didn't cheat. That's right. Wink.
I was on camera the whole time. So you just show me where I cheated. James La Navarez.
You got it.
That wink.
Or
For those
no
of you
one
who are
cheats here.
listening, for those of you who are listening to the episode right now, are like, why did it just go silent right now? It's because James was winking at Jen, and he's like, wink, wink. You didn't
I was
cheat,
glaring.
right? Exactly. It's great for audio, right?
Cheat
So.
to win.
Yeah, sure. We're Eddie Guerreroing it out here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to support the show, the best way to support this show is to head over to distancenerding.com. Go up to the top of the screen right there. You see a big blue button. All you got to do is hit that button and you can join the taco party. That's right. Join the taco party. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Join the taco party. It's the best way to support Distance Nerding and everything we do on this show. If you would like to hang out with us and do all of that, yes, that is your way to do it, guys. We get more prizes. It helps us get to more shows. Just supports everything that we're doing and helping us support the community overall that's out there. James.
Have something you want to discuss? Tell us what you're nerding out on and connect with us. Where?
All the social media places, of course, on the Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitter. It's never going to be X. The Twitch, the TikTok, Threads, YouTube, Discord, Blue Sky, MySpace, Vine, GeoCities, Friendster, Second Life, AIM, Farmers Only, Christian Mingle, OnlyFans. It's only pictures of Aaron Watson's feet and Mandels the beard. Jamez's glasses sitting on a table judging you for not buying all of the merch. And of course, everything Shadu will do for money, and for the most part, just his uncomfortability with this.
Meow.
So there we go. That's on the soundboard now, James.
Apparently it is.
Meow.
It's so good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like us to break up with your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, pet, schoolyard bully, annoying neighbor, or just tell us how much you enjoy us, hate us, or wish the internet would consume us completely. Oh, that's new. Tell us how much you would want a parasocial ship with us. Guys, send us an email at dist.
At-
I didn't know if you would read it. That's
I didn't see
put
that
it
until
on
after because I do that off my memory. So I was looking down. I was like, oh, that's different. It's nerding at AOL.com, and we will read it live on air. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us.
All right, y'all. Thanks.
there. Yeah.
And keep nerding together.
That's right.
And Bruce, you don't have to go to sleep, dude. It's
That's
the
right.
summer, but be nice to your parents and go to sleep at kind of a reasonable time so that they can go to sleep early because they still have to work.
That's
Or
right.
stay up all night because that's possible too.
Yeah. I mean, you can do that if you really
Yeah,
want to
do that.
I
Do
can't
that.
believe I'm the voice of reason in
Yeah.
this.
Stay up all night, buddy.
I used to do that all summer long. We'd watch Top Gun and Star Wars and Goonies. We would just take the VHS tapes out, switch them out. Like, next one, boom. So amazing. That was summer childhood.
I said bedtime is moved to 8:30 for the summer. Oh, so it is night time, buddy. It is time to go to bed in about 8
okay.
minutes. So
Right.
get
So
ready
good
for that.
night.
Well, that is it from us, ladies and gentlemen. We will see everybody on Thursday for the next show. So
Husby just walked out the front door.
Peace out,
He didn't say
husband.
one
See you
one
Thursday.
thing to me at all, and he's looking around. Okay, so I'm gonna let's go. Let's go ahead and go.
get this
I'm
going.
gonna
All
go
right,
make sure
guys.
he's okay.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, we'll see everybody next week.
Bye, everybody. Have a good week. I'll see you Thursday.
Distance nerding.